Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? I appreciate you guys being here. Today is Thursday. It is March 27th. I hope that you are off to an amazing end of your week. Got a big day lined up for you. So you got Alabama football holding its first scrimmage right now. You're going to get a chance to hear from Coach Kalen DeBoer later on in the day, probably 12 p.m., 1 p.m. I'll upload that press conference right here to Bama Football on YouTube. Any notes, any nuggets that we get, I'll package them. I'll bring them right here. That's during the midday point, maybe closer to the afternoon window. Then tonight you have Alabama in action taking on BYU in a Sweet 16 matchup, 6 p.m. CBS. What is your excitement level for Alabama taking on BYU? Mine's probably like a 10 out of 10. I can't wait to see this matchup. In fact, I was listening to Coach Oats yesterday in his post or in his pre-game press conference. Did you know this? He said since February that BYU has the number one offense in the entire country. I was like, my goodness, yo, that blew me away. So here you have two high-scoring teams meeting in the Sweet 16 in New Jersey. The over-under for this game, total points, 175. I think that's like the highest that there is in the Sweet 16. That would basically, we're expecting like a 90 to 87 type game, right? So my goodness, there's a big basketball game taking place today. Alabama, I think, is still favored by 5, something like that. Let me give some morning shout outs. I appreciate you guys rocking with me. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. So we're going to talk about the basketball game a little bit. I'm going to gauge your interest on the game. We're going to highlight a couple key points. I'm going to ask you how you think it'll go. Then we'll work our way into football. We'll talk about what we're watching from this scrimmage, which should be wrapping up probably within the next 30 minutes. And I'm actually going to ask you about your interest level on between Alabama and Florida State. And I asked that because I was looking at War Chant, the biggest website that covers Florida State, and I saw that there's a poll and there's kind of gauging, same question, their interest level for the game for week 1. A lot of people are excited about it. And then I also wanted to ask you about A-Day, right? And kind of your take on A-Day, if you're coming to A-Day. I'm sure you saw, but they've changed up A-Day because of a couple different reasons, right? And I guess it's just going to be like an hour practice, an hour and some change. Oh, Chris Wallman's headed to Rosemary. Oof. Man, I love me some Rosemary. It's so nice down there. I feel like at peace when I'm chilling over there. Rocket Town's coming to us from one of my favorite cities in Huntsville. I appreciate it. Chris is up in New Jersey. Chris, you better be going to the game, man. Are you? But the whole Alabama A-Day thing, they're going to make it. We got a super chat in here. What's up? How Johnny? What's up, man? Appreciate the super chat. But this whole A-Day thing, before I get to basketball, this whole A-Day thing it's interesting because look, Alabama is going to have an hour practice or whatever. And then for people who are Yay Alabama members, they can get on the field and get autographs. I think the way to look at this is at least they didn't cancel the entire thing, because they certainly could have done that. People are going to see a little bit for that practice. And they have to be paranoid at this point in time because the transfer portal opens 3 days after this practice. So I don't know. Look, if you want autographs, it'd be a good opportunity to sign up for Yale, Alabama. Come to Tuscaloosa. It's free to watch. And then there's different levels on Yale, Alabama that you can sign up for. Get an autograph by, Ryan Williams. Get an autograph by, some of the rising players. I don't know. If it's a glorious day and you don't have a lot going on, come support the players. Alex is all in. Look at this. I'll be at A-Day for autographs and the Walk of Champions. See, that's what's up. All right. Kimberly's like, let's get to it. Alabama basketball better win tonight, straight up. All right, so how Johnny in? Oh, I love this avatar with the Batman. That's what's up with the $10 super chat. He says, "Happy Ty Simpson Thursday." So Alabama football is having a scrimmage right now as I'm live. Okay, these scrimmages are going to be very tight, and what I mean by that is they're not going to let a lot of information out because people want to know, what the depth chart looks like, who's getting reps. Alabama has to be very careful with the information that gets out because they don't want the players to get poached. So I get stuff, I'll bring it here. I'm just saying, I think it's going to be really tight. Tighter with the super chat. I appreciate it, man. That's what's up. All right, so Alabama basketball taking on BYU. Let's get to this main man right here, okay? Can we at least start out by giving some appreciation for Nate Oats? I think that we are all fortunate to be in this point in time, and I like to always be where my feet are at. Always talk about that, right? Nate Oats being here, let's not take it for granted. Let's not devalue anything that he has done, because where he has Alabama basketball right now is where we want Alabama basketball to be. We want them to be a Sweet 16 type team. We want them to be a Final Four type team. We want them to be a national championship type team. The one thing that I learned quickly in my 9 years of living here in Tuscaloosa is why football will always be the catalyst for every single thing. Alabama fans love Alabama basketball, and they want Alabama basketball to be a championship contender. So for Alabama basketball fans and for Alabama fans overall, please support Nate Oats and don't take him for granted, because we know we've had greatness here, right, for a long time with Coach Saban. Nate Oats, there's a lot of different places that would love to have, pretty much every other place would love to have a coach like Nate Oats. Jay's straight up, he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, hard to argue that with what he's been able to do in such a short sequence is very impressive. I don't know, and I was talking about this yesterday, I've never heard aspirations about him to go to the NBA. I think his name was mentioned recently in Texas's coaching search. I think he quickly turned that down. Plus, there's that photo of him doing the horns down, which I think is hilarious. I don't know, if a major, organization opened up in the NBA, if he'd be wanting to take that leap, if he'd be wanting to take that step. I don't know. But I love the way that he coaches, and I like the intensity. I like the whole blue-collar mentality. I like that, I've always had respect, and I think the American way is we like hard work. We like consistency and performance. We understand as people that there's no quantum leap to success. It's brick by brick. It's every single day. Show up. It's practice. It's consistency, right? That's why we followed Coach Saban blindly, because he had those characteristics. And Coach Oats has exactly that. Coach Oats emulates a lot of that championship mentality that Coach Saban has. That's why it's always nice to listen to what he has to say. Now, the guy has to be, his voice is gone. He should be sponsored by Ricola, right? Ricola. What is that? The cough drops? His voice is chronically gone. Anyways, I just wanted to take a minute just to say damn, man, we have a very good basketball coach here in Tuscaloosa who has this program absolutely rolling, right? Alabama BYU tonight, 6 p.m. BYU, since February, has the number one offense in the country. The over-under, the total points, is supposed to be 175. That'd be 90 to 85 or whatever, okay? Who stands out today? Who's? And I asked this yesterday. I'm going to ask it today. It's game day. Give me your MVP for today. Who's your MVP? You can pick two. Pick two MVP players for today between Alabama, BYU. I guess I'll go with Sears and do we see more of Cliff Amore today? Give me two. I'm looking for two MVPs for today against BYU. All right, Kyle has Grant Nelson. Are we going with Mark Sears and Grant Nelson? I think I might go with Sears and, I mean, is Amore going to continue to stay hot? Diobate off the bench? Is it going to be Holloway off the bench? All right, looks like a lot of people going for look, Todd has been literally on fire. I have to give credit where it's due. Inside the comment box, look, Todd's been, when we need recruiting, Todd has it. He's always coming through. Very high hit rate. Ooh, Phylon. I like that. Patrick Spencer, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here. It's me, Marvin. I love that username, bro. Look at this. I actually like this, okay? I'm on co-sign with Sears and Grant Nelson. I think that's the safe play. But I like this right here. Grant Nelson and Mo Diabate. That's a nice ad right here. I mean, they combined for 22 points in the last game against St. Mary. But you need to continue high-level play of him. That's the obvious. And to be real, I think that if Cliff Amore can play at the highest level and play his best basketball going forward all the way through, specifically even on the defensive side, this will be one of the biggest reasons that Alabama makes a real run at it. Because they haven't had a dominating presence that can just completely take over on the inside and be a force that he's been. Look at the first two games. 27 points in round one and round two, right? So Cliff Amore, ooh, Larry Large, what's up, man? Larry Large has it like this. He has Chris Youngblood and Diabate. We need Youngblood to stay hot. All right. So let me ask you this. What do you think is more likely to happen in this game today? 6 p.m. CBS. This is going to be a hell of a good game. I can't wait. Perfect time in the day. I'm going to be trying to post up with some wings. But I think I'll come back in the after show for a post game. So have your head on a swivel. So type A, if you think Bama wins by 5. Type B, if you think it's a toss-up type game. Or type C, if you think BYU wins. I guess I could have added just if Bama wins, type A. But let's say, I think they're favored by 5. Jarvis, back me up on here. Are they still favored by 5? I think they are. Todd has it 93-88. Crimson Angel in from Pigeon Forge has A and B. Marcus is just like, let's go. Rich B has A. Marcus Luttrell has A. Chris Waldman coming back and saying those dunks have been ferocious. Amanda says A. Rocket Town says no idea. I don't know. You know, I've been on this like really. I eat healthy for the most part. I'm real like health conscious and all that stuff. But damn, like some wings sound perfect for this game. Then again, I haven't eaten, like I didn't have my protein shake this morning, so maybe I'm just hungry. Crimson Angel chimes back, says BYU is a great team if they can shoot from the outside. Checkmate, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here, bro. He says, roll tide, bro. Roll tide to you. I appreciate it, man. That's what's up. Byron, what's up, man? I love Byron. I see you, Byron, inside the comment box, in the Alabama ecosystem, man. You love the Tide. I respect that, man. You are a true fan, bro. I love it. Kimberly, I don't think I'm going to go live during the game. If I do go live, it'll be for the post game. So maybe like, a minute left in the game, something like that, I'll pop back on. Damn, Rocket Town's doing it right with some ribs. All right. So Alabama, BYU tonight, 6 p.m. Perfect window. The Crimson Tide versus BYU. Should be one hell of a game. Okay. Yesterday, Jordan Edmonds committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. I know it says decision day, but he committed to Alabama, so we'll go forward. Yo, this was a gigantic get for Kalen DeBoer. We had a video about it. Everybody was talking about it. There was 100 YouTube videos on it. Stand back with me and look to what Coach Kalen DeBoer and I always bring up Courtney Morgan because he's the GM. I feel like I should. Mo Lindquist said it was a team effort. I think, yeah, he was a team effort. Getting somebody like this is gigantic. And I saw inside the comment box someone who was like, he's not, he's like number 8 in Georgia. On 3 right here, that's who I roll with. I roll with On 3. I have nothing against Rivals or 247. I've said that all the time. And I have no affiliation with any of those guys. I just like the On 3 interface. But it says here on 3 that he's the number 2 player. And I think the reason I trust this one a little bit more, I have no idea what recruiting sites are better, all that stuff. I don't follow it that close. But I know that Chad Simmons does quality work, and he works for On 3, and he's like in the Georgia area. Marcus, I never saw like an actual commitment video. I think on Instagram there was a site that, has some stuff. Oh, you know what? I think Chad Simmons spoke to him. So you could look up Chad Simmons on 3, and I think he went one-on-one with him. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but like I said, anyways, and I said this on my video yesterday, you pull in a top 10 from Georgia, California, Texas, Florida, maybe Ohio. I'm saying like top 10 player overall in the state. Yo, that's high quality. He's a 5-star. It was over Georgia. I think there was some other schools clearly that were interested in him, but he's from the state of Georgia. I think, what's interesting about him? This guy must absolutely not be scared to compete, because look at the future corners here at Alabama. Xavier Brown's only going to be a sophomore, right, this year. Mustard, who's balling out of control, he's a freshman. You look to other corners that are kind of rising up. Jordan Edmonds is going to fit in nice. Yeah, Marcus, check it out. I think it was Chad Simmons. I think he sat down with them. So really big win yesterday. And we went over his highlights. And when we talked about the fact that, some of the things that we really like about him is the fact that he's another corner that has length. I'm all about, not that Coach Saban went after short corners or anything like that, but having the length, I like that approach. You had Dejon Lee, who's like 6'4", looks like 6'6" with this, big helmet on. And then you have Jordan Edmonds, coming through. You have Chuck McDonald, who's not even here yet. Oh, we got a big update right here from Patriot Life. This might move the whole bus for us. If Patriot Life is nailing down his itinerary, yo, that means that we might have to make this happen. This is like breaking news. This is like the head of the fan club right here. So Patriot Life said that he's locked in. Hey, Patriot Life, it was like last year, it was so beautiful of a day too. It was like the most beautiful day that we had all year until it was like a celebration. It was like anytime you get a chance in life, I think to have that type of continuity and camaraderie with friends, family of the same type of team, it was good. Yeah, so Patriot Life, he's serious, man. Bama Derry, what's up? I appreciate you being here. So this is a hell of a commitment. And I think when you look to overall and you look to Alabama and how they're recruiting at a very high level, I think this is probably the start of a really, I think, probably after April, I think May, probably June and July, you'll start to see all the pieces start to come into play. And Alabama will have, recruits come in and watch this A-Day. And there's a couple, summer visitors, but this is a good start. Getting a 5-star out of Georgia, I think is a huge win for Coach Kalen DeBoer. I wonder how Georgia's feeling. And I get it. The guy didn't sign. Things can change. Prospects decommit, recommit. But he was supposed to commit in February and then kind of push things back. I would want to play for Mo Lindquist 1,000,000%. I know Mo Lindquist went on social media. Mo Lindquist is the defensive backs coach, and he said team effort, meaning a lot of guys were all in on Jordan Edmonds, but I think Mo Lindquist has a lot to do with that. Plus, you got Jason Jones in here, a new coach as well. I don't really know that much about him. I haven't heard him speak or anything, but local guy from the Tuscaloosa area. But Mo Lindquist, man, he brings it. I mean, I think he has in his title assistant head coach. I mean, he's up there. He was a head coach at Buffalo 2 years ago. And in terms of like who commits next, I don't really know. You'd have to follow the recruiting sites for that stuff. One of the prospects that I talked about yesterday that I'd love to see Alabama get is Xavier Crowell, right? The running back out of Jackson. My goodness. This is a good question, JJ, because look, I did like T-Rob, and I thought that he worked really well with Coach Saban. And not to say that everything that comes in is better. T-Rob's a hell of a coach. Really good coach. I think I might say Mo is an upgrade. That's hard. That's hard to say. That was hard for me to just say that, but I think it's right. And if you haven't seen Xavier Crowell in terms of his highlights, we played him yesterday. Oh my goodness. Speed, power, he's a running back. He reclassified. He was supposed to be in the class of 2027. He reclassified. It was crazy. We played his tape yesterday. Hell of a good tape. So Alabama currently, these are some recruits that they currently have that have committed to the Tide. Jordan Edmonds, Zion Gibson out of Alabama, Jamarian Matthews, and then Chris Booker. I don't know who will be next. Hopefully it's Crowell. I think that would probably break the internet and cause a lot of emergency videos to pop up. We'll see what happens. But so far so good. Not an overwhelming volume. Abe is asking somewhat of an interesting question. How often do you cut your toenails? Oh man, I guess the comment box can get back to you on that. I like this photo that popped up though. You see kind of the length and the range of Jordan Edmonds on the right and Dejon Lee, right? Long, rangy corners. Patrick Spencer, right? I showed this graphic yesterday with the three recruits that you have in. You have Jamarian Matthews at kind of that wolf position, Zion Gibson at the corner spot, and Jordan Edmonds at the corner spot. We'll build that out as we go forward. I wanted to ask you something real quick because I went over to War Chant early this morning, and Alabama's first official scrimmage should be wrapping up anytime now, probably within the next, by 10:30. And then you'll hear from Coach Kalen DeBoer. I'll provide that video courtesy of the University of Alabama to the YouTube channel. So have your head on a swivel. I went to War Chant, and I like War Chant. I know the people that run the site, really good people. They have a massive website. But what's your interest? They had a poll. What's the interest level on the Bama game? And there was some pretty good interest in terms of like going to the game. But what's your kind of early take on Alabama versus Florida State? I'm sure the interest level is very high for you. It's very high for me. 10 out of 10. I can't wait to see this game. I love the fact that this is I would say, I think it's a quality matchup. I think Florida State will be much better. They have a better OC. In fact, Mike Norvell just closed spring practice to all the media. So at least we get some interviews and to hear from, the reporters get to see a little bit. But Mike Norvell closed everything down. So inside the comment box right now, just an early take, March. We'll do this maybe next month as well. Type A if you think Bama just runs down to Tallahassee and puts a smackdown. Do you think it'll be close game? Put B. And no idea, type C. I think those are all If you're in any boat right there, I think that's fine. Does Bama roll? I'm right now, I'm kind of feeling it's a close game. I don't know why. I feel it's a close game. And this might be silly that I'm still living off this because the past doesn't dictate the future, and I know this as a person, but I feel there's a couple reasons why I think this game is close. Number one, it'll be the first time that Alabama runs out on the field with a new quarterback, right? So that's always takes a little bit of time, okay? Damn, everybody inside the comment box feeling that Bama just rolls up on him. I feel that Mike Norvell getting OC, Gus Malzahn, new quarterback in, a couple different weapons, and I think Alabama playing on the road. I think that's also challenging because Alabama didn't play on the road most of the time last year. I think they had the game against Wisconsin that early on in the season they played well, but other than that, they didn't play well on the road. But new OC, new quarterback, maybe Jonathan's right, maybe I'm wrong. Jonathan straight up has it 66-10. Byron's like, we got the grub attack. Case is like, Bama's rolling. Myron is like, yo, after last season, we shouldn't assume anything. Fence Post is like, Florida State's running game with Castellanos. He's a transfer from Boston College. Might be pretty good. Passing game, a way different story. Lisa chimes in. What's up, Lisa? Good morning to you. God, we have new coaches and a new quarterback, Keelan Russell. I like that. Dwight says, if Bama rolls Florida State, we will say Bama is back or Florida State still sucks. Yeah, probably. And you got to think Mike Norvell, too. There's going to be some pressure on him from whatever happens after this game, right? I mean, last year they were favored to beat Georgia Tech in Ireland. Remember that game? And they lost? Georgia Tech was good. I would imagine that they're pretty good again. We'll have to see what happens. And again, if you're here, Alabama is finishing up its official scrimmage. I'm going to go and we'll talk about, kind of what we're watching from the scrimmage here at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Coach Kalen DeBoer will speak to the media. We'll bring that interview to you later on in the day. I'm thinking somewhere between like 11:30 and like 1:30. I'll post it on the YouTube channel. So just have your head on a swivel. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you know when that video drops. And then I'll be live post-game tonight following Alabama's and BYU. So a lot going on. Okay. So what we're watching from the scrimmage, okay? And let me ask you, while I run through this real quick, what are you watching or what do you want to know from the scrimmage? Like, these are the things that, I'm kind of watching, things that I'm thinking about from the scrimmage, right? I want to know every single thing about the quarterback play, every single thing. I want to eat that up in scrimmage situation because we haven't had an opportunity to really see any of these guys command the offense. Things have been pretty tight and for a good reason. Even in some of the footage that Alabama has released, they haven't shown us that much of the quarterbacks passing. Was there, Coach Kalen DeBoer, was there any quarterback today that commanded the offense? And if so, which quarterback was that? There's a damn good question for you. Period. I don't want to hear that, and what we're going to hear is probably all quarterbacks look good. All quarterbacks did well. These quarterbacks did this, no. Like, did one quarterback stand out above the rest? Which quarterback commanded the offense? Was there one? Was it Ty? Kevin T, what's up, man? Good morning to you, bro. That's what I want to know. I want to know every single thing about the quarterbacks. because I really feel that this is a quarterback competition. I don't think that people are just saying that so like the quarterbacks don't transfer. I really feel it's a tight race. This probably doesn't mean anything, but I said it earlier in the week. Do you agree with me or do you disagree? I came up with this. But if Ty was the guy at quarterback and we knew that he was going to be a guy, wouldn't he have already done like an interview with the media, like at the main stage? Maybe he will next week. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe they're just like, you got to work for that spot. I don't know. It's just like Parker Brailsford's been up there, Josh Cuevas. Do we not have somebody who has like really stood out and been the guy? I saw the report by Brody of Touchdown Alabama that said that Ty's been elected to the Leadership Council. The Leadership Council is different than the captains. Two different things. Two really good things, but Leadership Council is basically, making sure that, players are doing the best stuff off the field, that sort of stuff. Sad Auburn fan inside the comment box. I think it's his first time here. What's up, man? I appreciate you being here. I wish I could talk trash, but we haven't done anything for 4 years. And that's a whole different video, right? Thinking about Auburn and the success that they want to have. I guess they're living off the fact that they've won some in-state recruits, but in-state recruiting is not wins on the field, right? Like, you got to win the games. Justin DeBoer has been a fan funder for 4 months. Appreciate it, bro. I like that name. Justin DeBoer. Wide receiver play, clearly. I want to see if any of those top wide receivers are making big plays, and really the underneath wide receivers as well. Good morning, Michael Coleman. What's up, man? I appreciate you being here. Like, who else is stepping up underneath our starters, right? What are we seeing from Rico Scott? What are we seeing from Jalen Mbakwe? Is Jalen Mbakwe, how is he performing in game situation in a scrimmage setting? Because we know that he has playmaking ability. It's been kind of quiet on him, maybe by design. But, nobody can disagree that guy doesn't have elite playmaking ability. He's just in a tough spot right now because of all the dogs in the wide receiver room. Or if you want to go in the secondary, there's a lot of guys there too. Big Country Ty, let's see what he has to say. Can we just start Keelan Russell? If we don't, we are back to having the same conversation in 2026. I think there'd be a large percentage that just would want to start fresh with Keelan Russell and just like move forward. But I think the problem with that is that he's going to get there. It's just like when. Big Country fires back and says, let's start Russell and have some stability for the next 3 years. Right? Like, if this guy's going to really be the franchise player, let's make him the franchise player, right? It's hard sometimes when you get like a number 1 draft pick in the NFL and he doesn't start, right? Like, if this guy's the number 1 draft pick, play him. Period. Right? Play him. Like the Falcons, they should have been playing Michael Penix Jr. all last season. I didn't understand that. That was weird. So watching the wide receiver play, offensive line rotation. And what I mean by that is Caden Proctor is probably not participating today. Right? He's been limited. Hey, Ricky the second, man. What's up, man? Appreciate you being here. So what does the offensive line look like? And how did that offensive line, if it's a second-tier offensive line, how are they improving? What are we seeing from Wilkin Formby? What are we seeing from Jackson Lloyd? That guard spot, is it going to be Geno Vandermark or is it going to be Cam Dewberry? Right? Geno Vandermark, I think he played really well last season. I think a lot of people like Geno Vandermark. So I think you have a low-key competition going on at that left guard position. Who stood out on defense? Who's the dog? Who's the dog on defense? Seriously. William chimes in with the super chat and said, if you had to guess who's going to be the quarterback this year, who would it be? And you know what? I get this a lot inside the comment box. I love the super chat, man. Thank you so much. But a lot of people are like, man, you want Ty to start so bad. Or you want this and that. Look, I want the best player to start, okay? Period. I feel that it makes most sense rationally when you look to right now that Ty would start against Florida State, just based on the fact that he has the most experience. He has a live arm. I do believe in his abilities. And that's not throwing shade on Austin or Keelan. That's just how I feel at this point in time. Now, if another guy comes out of spring camp and he's the absolute baller, if it's Austin Mack, then let him be the quarterback. But I'm not like pushing an agenda for any of these guys to start. I'm not the only person that said that. Somebody way closer to the program than myself, I think it was Josh Pate, who knows every single thing about Alabama football. I think he said something about Ty Simpson being the starter as well, right? And probably like Greg McElroy, didn't he say something about Ty? So you have a quarterback competition. I love it. I appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you so much. But who stood out on defense? Like who's standing out? Because Deontay Lawson, who's the team's anchor at inside linebacker, is not there. He's out. Damani Jackson, the team's corner, he's not there. He's out, right? LT Overton, is it him? And what are we seeing at that what position? Is it Quay? Is it Jamirian Latham? Is Dejon Lee absolutely like slicing it up? Every single time we see a small clip of him, he's batting down a ball or returning a pick for a touchdown. Another question for Coach Kalen DeBoer would be like, Coach Kalen DeBoer, on the defensive side, which players absolutely stood out? Were there some players that absolutely caught your eye in game situations? Has to be Overton, right? What's up, Chad? Good morning to you, bro. Appreciate you. And then the secondary versus the wide receivers. I'm not going to lie. I think you look at all the guys on the secondary, all the guys in the wide receiver room. I can't even imagine those guys going at it. You won't hear a lot. I guess I'd be interested to see what happened with the running backs. But it's just one scrimmage, so I don't know. Running backs, I should have put running backs over special teams play, but I'm kind of paranoid about the special teams play following the fact that they lost Graham Nicholson and James Burnup. What are you going to ask, though? How did the special teams look in game situation? I guess you could ask that. Big country one more time. Let's see. Kyle, remember, Clemson did this with Trevor Lawrence. Byron started, and then Trevor took it. Interesting. Kevin T. Cook says, we must evolve as the infrastructure of college football evolves. With that being said, they should play whoever is ready to give us a winning chance. 100%. Yeah. Put the best players out on the field. And I think it's tough because of how things have changed in college football, right? Like coaches basically have like a gun to them. It's like, if you don't play this guy, he leaves. Michael Coleman in with the super chat. It's Ty Simpson's job to lose. And that's how a lot of people see it as well, right? He's got the experience. He's got the live arm. He's got the athleticism. He's been here for a long time. Former 5-star. Really good dude. Has good camaraderie with the team. This might just be it. And I 100% believe that Coach Kalen DeBoer, if he has to make a change at quarterback, I think he'll do it immediately. The only information that we have on Deontay Lawson, I know someone asked that inside the comment box, about his recovery, is that he is expected to be healthy by the start of the season. Hunter, what's up, man? Good to see you, bro. Patrick Trotter, I see you inside the comment box a lot, man. Thank you so much. You have some really good stuff inside the comment box, by the way. But yeah, I think that's the status on Deontay Lawson, is that, by the start of the season, he's going to be healthy, which is great because now the inside linebacker room will have the most experience probably in all of college football with Deontay Lawson, Justin Jefferson, and Nakai Hillgreen all at that position, right? Really good problem to have. Tyler chimes in and says, all of our quarterbacks will play in that game, and you know what kind of game ends up all your quarterbacks getting reps. Yeah, there was a couple people that said that they'd like to see like some sort of a platoon type system. I'm against that. I don't know, Tyler, if that's what you're implying, but I just like for there to be one quarterback, and if that quarterback can't get it done, the coaches get together and make the decision like, yo, is this a time where we need to put in somebody else to lead the offense going forward, or do we let this guy kind of get out of, a couple bad series or whatever? I don't know. Robert, what's up, man? I see you coming to us from Ohio. That's what's up, man. Thanks for being here, bro. Prod says inside the comment box, we by far have the best defense in college football. I think a lot of people are going to be saying that. Remember the spring football magazines that used to come out? Do we still get those? Do you guys still get those, or has the internet canceled those? Remember, like Phil Steele? I used to love, I'm very analytical. So I used to love getting the Phil Steele. Remember all the data? Did anybody else get this magazine? Or was I just the only one nerding out on this? There was Athlon Sports. Help me out. What were some other college football magazines? Proud Times back in says, what if Michael Hudson lands with Bama? Yo, 5 stars are going to want to play with 5 stars. Chad says that Bray Hubbard reminds him of Sean Taylor. People love Bray Hubbard. I love the story. If you haven't seen The Tide That Binds, I think the last episode just came out yesterday. I haven't watched the latest one. I was busy yesterday. But there's some really good stuff on Bray Hubbard. Michael Coleman, I saw you on this show, bro. I saw you at LSU. That was what's up. No, Chris, remember Phil Steele? I haven't seen any comments for Phil Steele. It was like this magazine, and you would open it up, and it was just nothing but data points. There you go. Herman, thank you. Sporting news. Athlon Sports, yeah. Athlon Sports, yeah, thank you. Thanks, Mac. I was wondering about that. Oh, Street Smith, yeah. Good. But Phil Steele was you open that up, man, and it just had data. So I haven't seen the last episode of The Tide That Binds. I recommend that you guys go check it out. It's on Fox Nation. I watched it on my phone. RTR AJ says the last episode was emotional. Deborah says that Ty is a grad student, so he can leave anytime. I believe that's right, Deborah. Byron chimes in and says, ask Parker Brailsford, who runs your show in the Tuscaloosa now, and he'll say Ryan Grubb does. That's what's up. Leonard's loser, man. Oh, my goodness. Yes, yeah. I think Mick Gillespie turned me on to that. All right. So, action-packed day today. This is just kind of the start. We got a lot coming your way today. So we have, let's see. So show about to conclude, and then we have Coach Kalen DeBoer. As soon as that's done, I'll bring that here to the YouTube channel. And then tonight, and then if any major news or nuggets pop out about the scrimmage, I'll pop back on. And then you have Alabama taking on BYU tonight at 6 p.m. One hell of a game it should be. Big Country back hyping that secondary, talking about Ivan Taylor, Dejon Lee, Xavier Brown, Zay Mincy, Jordan Edmonds, and Bray Hubbard. That's crazy. Fence Post says Phil Steele was the only place that you could find 40 times. Dude, Phil Steele had every single thing in all those little boxes. It must have been a nightmare to put all that information in those little tabs and print it out. Prod says, has Isaiah Horton had a press conference? No, I don't think he spoke to the media just yet. All right, fam. So a lot coming your way. I appreciate you guys always rocking with me. Thank you so much for the super chats and for just being here. Talking life, talking football, talking basketball. Be where your feet are at. Enjoy this beautiful thing called life. Go support the other great content creators, whether they're talking Alabama football, big channel, small channel. Everybody is definitely doing their best to give you the content that you love, or the major channels, right? Out there. There's so many good content creators in this space. I have respect for them all because I know that there's a lot of hard work that goes behind the scenes so that they can deliver the content that you love. right? But I appreciate you guys rolling with me as always. I pray that you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay where your feet are at. Enjoy this beautiful thing we call life. And as news happens, I got you covered right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Coming to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama on this beautiful Thursday, March 27th. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Catch you soon, fam. See ya.